Hey guys, Engineer Wannabe here with my good friend Clayton.
Hello.
Hope you all are doing really well. I just want to say a couple of things before we get started. A couple of my friends have mentioned that if you're watching this after the live stream, possibly if you're not in Canada or North America, you might be getting a bunch of lag. I don't know if that's because of YouTube post processing or something. Clayton, I don't know if you've heard anything about that.
So I tried
Uh,
watching Bobby's leg stream from Tuesday, and I could not. It wasn't yours; it was his. For
okay.
whatever reason, I was having trouble. It kept like buffering and loading. I watched it. I usually am asleep by now, so I watch
Yeah,
him. I tried to watch him the next day, and it just kept like pausing every few seconds. I could not play it. It was so
that's so
weird. I
weird.
was
Yes.
not at home. I was like in my car, but it kept. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's not a North America thing or a long distance thing because we're in the same continent. um,
Yeah.
but that's so weird because I was watching Bobby Legs from last night. Thank you, Bobby Legs, for filling in. By the way, that was really nice. But it was fine. I was watching it at 10:30, so an hour and a half after it streamed, and it was smooth, crystal clear. I don't know what's going on with YouTube. Um, so if you are watching this and this is lagging, I'm really sorry. I don't think it's on our end. So yeah, that's one thing I want to mention. I also want to mention talking about just the random stuff that we do talk about. We're not experts. I keep forgetting to put that disclaimer out there. We're just chatting. So like friends chatting, we may say something inaccurate. Feel free to correct us. We do need to be corrected, and we will address that next week or whenever it is that we do bring it up again. We will correct ourselves. But yeah, long housekeeping session there. Sorry about that. How are you, sir? Are you doing well?
I'm doing well. Yeah, been very busy. Just sort of I realize like as my business gets busier, I am terrible with time management. So just taking a back seat from, a lot of YouTube and podcast and just need to be less stressed out. I just need to focus on one thing at a time. So as I improve my time management skills, hopefully maybe this summer get back to podcasting and stuff. But it's great to be back on with you again. So
Yeah, I'm so excited to see you again. This is the first time we're chatting in weeks, like properly. In
months.
months, in months.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah, man, I miss you. I
I
just want to
miss
let
you
you know.
too. I miss all you guys. Yeah, I try to catch the live streams. Sometimes it's days later, while
Yeah.
I'm either running with dogs or driving, and yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And everyone in the chat too. I miss you guys. I too, like Clayton. Things are just nuts at work. When I come home, I'm wiped, and I pretty much take a breather, and then second job is taking care of the kids and spending time with them. So yeah, haven't been joining the lives, at least live. So I haven't been chatting with you guys on the live streams with Bobby Legs and yeah. So I feel bad about that. I do miss you guys, but this is my time with you guys. So yeah. So Clayton, what's on your wrist?
so I've gone to strange places recently.
Yeah.
Picked up an odd one. I don't even know if you know I have this. Gerard Perigo Casquette 2.0, crazy digital watch, ceramic, rubber backed ceramic links. Actually, it's an interesting bracelet sizing system. Once you
Okay.
figure out how to do it, because there's really no clues, it's quite nifty, but took me a little while to figure out what exactly I was doing. It's rubberback ceramic and it's actually spring bars in there. So it's really easy to remove them. But
Yeah.
there's no arrows, there's no mention of it in the instructions in
Yeah.
the watch manual. But yeah, really cool watch. I'm in a weird place right now. I'm
Yeah.
really loving quartz watches. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. That's not new.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But, man, that is really cool. I saw it this morning, on Instagram. I just hopped on
Oh yeah,
Instagram,
yeah,
and the
yeah.
first video was, a wrist roll of yours,
I don't post
and
on there much either, boy. Like
yeah,
once every
me
week
neither.
and a half, maybe.
Yeah, but, I mean, when I saw it, I was like, "Wait, is that that's Clayton's Sherman County.
Yeah,
And, yeah,
kind of
I
fell in
didn't
love
have
with
a
it.
moment to even respond, but I just saw it and I was like, "Whoa, what's going on? That's so cool."
Yeah.
Congrats, man. When did you get it?
Thanks. What, this week? Yeah, I
Okay.
got this week. Took some negotiating and some planning and some selling to get there, but I'm there, and I really love it. And
Yeah,
yeah, I'm kind of yeah, I don't know what's going on with me. I kind of started with the oyster quartz and have been kind of going down a weird quartz rabbit hole ever since. So it's part of the
yeah,
fun. I think we take weird roads sometimes, and
yeah,
I'm sure the people who have been in collecting like 20 years or something have all done that. So
right.
yeah,
Yeah, for sure. And, yeah, it's a great, whole wide world out there of
yes,
course.
yeah. It's so fun to explore, and if you can do it like semi responsibly and with
Yeah,
money and everything, that's even better. So
yeah, yeah.
kind of doing that, I think.
Well, on
Sort
my
of.
wrist, is the one in the thumbnail, actually. I wasn't expecting to wear it, but, um, my SRP 853. So, yeah,
Nice.
34 millimeter Seiko Presage, 34 millimeter Dream Team right here. Come on, yeah, anyone wants to join me? I know Mr. Theo and Mr. Harris. They do love the 34 millimeter Dream Team. I was actually cleaning up brush today, from a tornado, and I found a bunch of sawdust that I did not know was there. So I was actually cutting down trees with this on. It's kind of a beater. It's kind of a nice watch, but yeah, that was fun. In case you guys did not know, the reason why I didn't stream, one of the reasons why I didn't stream last night was we had a semi low grade tornado. Apparently, some people are calling it a tornado. Some people are just calling it a windstorm. Um, and a tree fell down. So yeah, it's
Man.
not fun. It's in a very precarious position right now. And I cleaned up as much of it as I could, but we probably need the professionals now. um, yeah, I'm not taking a chainsaw to it. I'm not taking any kind of cutting tool to it. I I I I may have cut like a load bearing branch, so it's kind of yeah, and it started creaking and cracking while I was on a ladder, and I was like, okay, I'm done.
Oh,
uh, yeah, yeah,
if
that
you
was
go
one.
crazy buying watches after a car accident, cutting one of your limbs off with a chainsaw, God only knows. Hopefully, it's not one of your wrists, but hopefully, it's nothing. But boy, what would you do then?
Well,
Oh, so happy you're okay, though. I know a tornado went through part of the lower peninsula of Michigan too, and I saw some of the damage. It was maybe the same tornado, I don't know, but crazy.
yeah.
So glad you guys are all okay. And
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, everyone's okay. Damage seems really minimal, but I can't really know until everything's cleaned up. But yeah, we'll see. It's not too bad. It could have been worse. I was actually in the room where the tree fell on. I was just hanging out, and I was like, man, it got really dark real quick, and because it was sunny, it was a beautiful day, and then it got really dark, and it got, like, black, and I was thinking, "What is going on?" And then it was, like, shrubbery all over the screen door that I look out of, and I was like, "Did a tree just fall in our our house?" And,
oh
yeah,
man.
it was gone. It was, like, 3 minutes and then sunny again. Really strange. The strangest thing I've been through. Never experienced anything like it before. Um, but yeah, missing out on the chat here, so let's dive in. Say hi to everyone. Neff, good to see you. You should join the 34 millimeter Dream Team. Just 2 millimeters smaller than that 36 OP you're waiting on. Chaz, good to see you, sir. Peter, how are you? We got Steve, we got Rob. Good to see you, Bobby Legs. Happy birthday, by the way. Oh, I didn't even
Oh, it's his
officially.
birthday. Happy
Yes.
birthday.
Yeah. Yes. The only reason I know is because of that really long-winded joke from last night. Didn't land too well, but it
We
was
were
good.
away this weekend, so I didn't catch that one yet. We went to
Yeah.
Portsmouth, New Hampshire, just for a little weekend getaway. So it
Yeah,
was good. Yeah.
that's good. We've got Bruno. Good to see you, sir. Scott Tarlow's here. Underachieving watch collector is here. What are you guys wearing? Let me know on your wrist. Everything else is not applicable. Uh, Easy Clayton, how's it going? Kevin S. Joey, good to see you. Justin is strapped in. We got Steve, the other Steve, good to see you, sir. Torin, how's it going? Good to see you. Jeffrey Deach, how's it going? Patrick, good to see you, sir. Hope you're doing well. Keith, how's it going? It worked. Okay, so Keith found the stream okay.
It was Wednesday morning, so I don't know. Maybe I haven't tried since then because yeah, it just kept every few seconds. It just kind of kept stopping. So
Yeah, that's so strange.
yeah,
Huh. Um,
9/11 Dan was talking about his new watches, and it just like yeah, kept. I couldn't get through it.
yeah.
It was a bummer.
Yeah. I'm sure it'll clear out. Like if
Yeah,
maybe if you try now it might be okay,
yeah.
but yeah, that is pretty sad. Um KR Joey, good to see you. Hey, Dib's here. Good to see you, Dib. Hope you're doing well. Mez9, how's it going, sir? Sorry if I missed anyone. I am scrolling down pretty quick. Patrick really likes that GP. It is really cool.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, but yeah, it's really fun. The
Yeah.
bracelet, just the ceramic with the rubber backing, it's super comfortable, and it's super. The clasp and case back are titanium, so
Yeah.
really just kind of forget you're wearing it. It's super light.
Yeah. Have you seen Amin's Romain Jerome
Yes,
spacecraft?
yeah.
What do you think of that one?
Also very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know Watch Chris has I know they
Yes.
both talked about. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, very cool watches.
Yeah. Would you consider one? Because they're kind of.
It's around, yeah, it looks very, very similar.
Yeah.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah.
This is a whole new world for me, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I really, I barely press the time on it. To be honest, I just like the way it looks. My
Yeah.
wife's like, so it's kind of like weird digital jewelry. They're like, sort of.
Well, that one reminds me of Knight Rider. Like,
Yes,
so I really like that one.
it's
I mean,
total like digital, your basic alarm clock display red. I don't know if it'll show. And it doesn't go on very. I don't know if you guys can see that, but
yeah,
yeah,
that's cool.
it
That's
it
so
doesn't
cool.
do a whole lot.
Yeah.
The tech of the case and bracelet is far more advanced.
Yeah, for sure. Um, I've been kind of craving that Hamilton Pulsar
hmm
watch as well. It's been on my mind. I
Which one? Which because there's a few of them now. There's like the blacked out one I think they did for the Matrix, and then there's the gold, and then the stainless steel.
I like the gold. I know
Yeah.
I'm really not a PVD guy because I always think of, when I own a watch for 15 years, right? um,
Yeah.
the PVD is gonna be all chipped up, and
It's
what
a
am I gonna
major
do with
concern for
myself?
you as someone
Yeah.
who keeps the watches that long.
But you know, things that give me pause, even though I really like the way it looks. Um, I don't think I've ever seen a gold DLC coating. That would be
Mhm.
cool.
Yeah, that'd be really
Um,
cool.
yeah, and kind of diamond-like carbon. I don't think carbon turns gold. So anyway,
Craig G, who is sometimes in the chat, he has the blacked out Matrix one. It's pretty
oh,
cool. Yeah. I think it's
yeah,
got like green digital display, I think, if I'm not mistaken. It's really
that would
neat
be
watch.
really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And Bulova just released a new Computron that's I don't get the whole NFT thing, but it's kind of like it almost looks like a space view kind of. It's like you can see the circuit board and everything of the Computron. But I think that one might be blacked out to the
hmm,
case. But yeah, it's interesting. The new Bulova Computron
yeah.
has something
I'll
to
have
do
to
with
look that one up.
NFTs. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that one. Um, Cowboy YQG is wearing the first Omega in space. Cool watch
Nice.
there. Ken Spear is wearing the Alpinist. Do you still have yours?
No.
Okay.
There was someone I know who really wanted one, so I sold it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Makes sense. Scott Tarlow wearing the Explorer 36. Very cool. Kevin S. also wearing a Speedy 3861. Very nice. Um, thank you, Steve. 34 millimeter dream team. I should stop saying that because Detroit Spartan here. I think 34 millimeter immediately eliminates it from any dream team. Hey, I'm a legend in my own mind, so yeah. Chaz, the great comment here. My wedding band is 34 millimeter. That's
Uh,
good. Oh, good stuff. Um, that Sanjay with the chainsaw would scare me. Yeah, I scare myself with a weed whacker, so chainsaw chainsaw is a bit of an upgrade. Um, I intended to wear my G-Shock, Kevin, but I forgot. So once I was out there, I was like, I'm not going back in to change watches. You know, this one's all right.
Pretty baller move.
Yeah, yeah,
Cutting wood with a Presage.
yeah.
Well
There you
done.
go. Thank you, thank you. That was the classiest guy.
Yeah. Classiest lumberjack out there.
Yeah, classiest guy on the ladder in
Uh,
Square Mile. Brian Show Don't Tell says sure it wasn't Hurricane Hazel. I don't think so. I don't keep up with the weather. I'm not sure if that one was the one you mentioned that hit Michigan
well, I think
lately.
there's a tornado, but I don't know if
Okay.
it was named.
Yeah. Joey, my 8-year-old son wears a 37 millimeter watch. Yeah. Um Neff, speaking of cutting limbs, I had quite the mishap yesterday. Limb hit me in the leg and knocked me off the ladder.
Oh
Oh
man.
boy. Yikes. Hope you're doing okay, Neff. Yeah, I'm not doing it anymore. Not doing it anymore. Lumberjacking, arboring. Um, thanks so much, Deb. Everyone is well. And it could have been way worse. We're really thankful of how the tree fell down, and it was good. Ladders and chainsaws don't mix. Yeah, I've heard some bad stories. Chaz is wearing the Zen 103. Steve is wearing the Marine Master. Cool. F wearing the Silver Bay. Is that the Black Bay 58 Silver? That'd be cool. I saw Pretty 27. BB is wearing.
He has the
Uh,
it's just the Black Bay that's not a diver. That's what the he has a silver dial Neff. It's a cool
oh,
one. Yeah.
gotcha, gotcha,
Yeah.
gotcha.
It's a
Yeah,
cool watch. I like that dial.
it is nice.
Yeah.
Um, okay. I'm gonna skip way down, guys. I'm sorry if I missed anything, but we're getting caught a bit in the chat. Um, so I think I was. So just to start, I think I was gonna chat about brand names. Basically, what I was thinking of is if we could play a little game, maybe a little later, but um, if we were to try and pull ourselves out of the watch hobby and pretend to be a layperson, even though that's impossible to do. But and if we were to look at some brands, what we would think that company was, you know, I know, I know it's really skewed, and subconscious is really strong, and your subconscious mind is really strong. Is what I mean, and it's you know just putting all that aside, just fun. We'll do that, but I was trying to figure out what makes an appealing brand name because not too long ago in a Saturday Night Watch Talk, we were chatting about Formex again, and some people said it sounds like a battery company. I said it sounded like a plastic molding company or something.
I think spark plugs. I think
Spark
Jody
plugs,
mentioned that.
yeah,
Yeah, that's what it
yeah.
reminds me of.
So that was one thing, and was I used to own a business, and I found that really difficult to brand. Like, what would I call the business? And what makes a good brand name. And I spent some time thinking about it, and I was thinking, if you called it Sanjay's Detailing, it doesn't sound very good. I don't know why. um, it doesn't have a ring to it, and I feel like there's something to do with prestige, like and again, I don't mean to offend anyone, but there's like a prestige that comes with your heritage. I feel like, and that's kind of why Swiss names sound really sophisticated, and Swiss watch brands sound really sophisticated. I don't know if I don't know if you agree, but when you like, for instance, Gerard Perregaux, that sounds like a great watch brand name.
Yeah. Yep.
That sounds incredible. And I'm like, yeah, that's a great name. But why? It's just is it two guys' names? Two
Yeah,
last names?
or yeah, I think isn't it the husband and wife? I don't know. Yeah, but it's two
Yeah.
names together. Yeah,
Yeah.
I believe. Yeah, but
Um,
it's from way back. It's such an old brand.
yeah.
Yeah.
And at the same time though, I was thinking there's Patek Philippe. I remember thinking that does not sound like a good brand name. When I first heard Patek Philippe, I remember thinking that sounds awful. Um, but
It's also PP if you want to do that too. It's you
yeah.
know.
Yeah. But then there's this prestige that comes, I think, after you get immersed into it for a little bit, and you start thinking of it as a really prestigious brand name and stuff like that. So there's the other aspect of it may not sound prestigious at first, it may not sound like a great brand at first, but then with time, as most things do, with time things start to sound really good. Um, so yeah, I was trying to figure out where that line is, so the other thing I was thinking about was like Filippo Loretti. Um, that that doesn't sound like a good brand, right? I mean, I was thinking that sounds like a fashion brand's name,
Yeah, it
and then
does.
maybe that's what they were going for, right? It is a um, fashion
Sounds
watch
like more
company,
like designer clothes maybe or something or yeah.
right? Like Louis Vuitton
Yeah,
or
yeah, yeah.
Armani, like Giorgio Armani. Anyway, so um, maybe that's what they were going for. So maybe it's like Italian names. You think of fashion, and you look at um, Swiss names or French names, and you think timepieces. And then you look at British names, think of tea.
Yeah.
um,
Like
yeah. So
Christopher Ward, it does have like a British,
yes, it
yeah.
does.
I
But
wonder
that
if
that
you
makes me
ask
think of,
somebody
like,
who doesn't know.
trains. If I were to
Mm.
pull myself out, it makes me think of, like, steam engines, and I don't know why. Does that maybe it's just me. Maybe my association with
Mm.
England is steam engines, and and when I hear Christopher Ward, I'm like, "Hmm, sounds like it's like a nice train company." I don't know. It's not supposed to be a really deep topic, but, yeah, what are your thoughts, Clayton?
Well, so I own a dog running business, and naming it was one of the hardest parts of getting started because in the, I don't know how familiar everyone is with like pet associated businesses, but they're always like a play on words like tails on trails or furry fellas, like, there's something like that. So I named mine Canine Cardio because I do cardio with dogs. I exercise dogs. So that's what I thought that was a good name. I have gotten calls to do heart surgeries and look at, dogs cardiovascular. I'm like, no, 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 you don't want me operating on your dog's heart. But yeah, so most people get the whole like, but canine cardio, I thought it's catchy, it's alliterative, and I went with it. So
It's
yeah.
a great name. It's a
But
great
yeah, so naming is because there, do you want a name that? Because I was actually asked my wife about it, just for someone who is a layperson more or less with watches, and she likes Citizen watches, but she just said there's something appealing to her about the name Citizen. She
Hmm,
just think it sounds really nice. She just likes that brand name.
okay,
So she's
that's interesting.
yeah, yep. So
Huh,
there's just something, and maybe that she does have quite a few. So there's
yeah,
something about it that appeals to her.
yeah. Well, I know my parents, when they found out I'm into watches and stuff, they used to think Seiko was really prestigious, which is the opposite here, right? Um, and I thought that was really interesting
Yeah.
because a Seiko watch in, I guess, Sri Lanka is a prestigious brand name, whereas here it's a mall watch, or something that's not like a fashion watch, but it has some heritage or some credibility with the lay people, but not a very prestigious name. Mm, and so I was yeah, there's just so much that goes into that. So it's that wouldn't be time, that would more be like a cultural perception even. Like Rado is really prestigious in India, Sri Lanka. My dad has a Rado, I think it was his dream watch. Purple Horse, beautiful, beautiful watch, from the 80s, 70s, 80s. And it was a prestigious brand, and I've heard from many people that Rado is next to Rolex in
Hmm.
Southeast Asia. So there's a cultural aspect to it as well. Longines is really big. I here in China, and the other part of Asia, I guess, um, Northeast Asia. Uh, but yeah, Longines is really big.
So do brands, I wonder how they feel about having names that may be hard to pronounce in some cultures. I wonder, like, we always joke, but like long jeans
Yeah,
or God forbid ball, the jokes are endless. I wonder, obviously it was someone's last name, but
yeah,
I wonder if they're aware. Of course, they have to be aware of, whenever a ball watch is featured, it's like you have to make jokes. So,
yeah. Well, and Bobby Legs has the shrimp parmigiani Fleurier.
oh,
So
I have a funny story. Can I tell it?
yeah, of
So
course.
I think I may have told it. So my friend and I went to the Rolex authorized dealer. It was in January, but he had a Parmigiani hat on, and the salesperson at the Rolex AD was like, start talking about chicken parm and
Yeah.
Parmesan cheese, and we're like, no, this is a watch brand, Parmigiani. He's like, oh, we got a big kick out of that.
Yeah. Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah,
Oh, man. It's that's like you're stuck between a rock and a hard place because the guy's name is Parmigiani,
yeah,
and I'm being kind of disrespectful by saying the guy, but the gentleman's name is Parmigiani, and what's he what's he to do? um,
yeah,
and I guess similar, if I were to start a brand and I called it my last name, which is like a mile long, um, it wouldn't look good on a dial. It wouldn't sound good. No one would be able to pronounce it, and it would just be a disaster. So, or even Sanjay. Sanjay, it would just be Sanjay, wouldn't
Sanjay.
it? No, no, no good, no good. That doesn't sound right. And it's so strange.
There's a
uh,
micro brand that Stella, and they make watches for men, but like Stella just automatically makes you think, maybe it's geared towards females, but I
ladies,
know
but
they make
yeah.
men's watches.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, interesting some of the names that you see, especially in the micro brand world. Like,
Oh,
that
that's
doesn't resonate with me, or wow, that does, or whatever the case might be.
yeah, and like all the poorly translated name watches that are, I
Yeah,
guess, micro brands. Jody from Just One More Watch, he has some really good videos making fun of, you know, like these named brands like
yeah,
Cistern. This sounds like a cistern, which is in the UK, a toilet.
yeah.
So, or
Makes me
a
think of a
tank.
urinal.
Yeah, a tank above a toilet. Um, yeah, it's just naming is it's such a big part. It's such a big part if you want your company to grow, and rebranding is not ideal if you're trying to rebrand. Like Christopher Ward's done this so many times. They had CHR Ward, then they
Yeah.
had Christopher Ward in like the 9 o'clock position. Now,
It's a
now they
giant
have
turnoff to me
yeah,
for that brand. The
yeah,
watches are great. I've handled one, but I would never buy one just because it's like they seem wishy-washy. It's like why do you keep every new release? Now they don't have a word. They don't have the name on the dial at all. It's just like the flag.
Yeah, the
Um,
twin flags.
so I always thought the logo at the 9 made them look like designer watches a bit.
Yeah,
Like something you'd, I don't know, like the men's watch you'd buy at Forever 21, just aesthetically. I know the watches are great. But
yeah,
then now I think the flag makes them look like micro brandy more than like
right.
designer. Yeah. So I
Yeah,
don't know. It's just
I could see
weird.
that.
Weird that they keep changing up.
Yeah, and, Formex has done it too. Now
Hmm.
Formex doesn't have, the name on the dial, right? They have just the logo.
I think they do have the name, but it's in a different,
Font?
yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah, because they
believe.
had, like, the weird
Yeah.
diamond thing. Yeah, okay, okay,
I
I was
like
thinking of
the
something
old
else.
industrial spark pluggy
Yeah,
logo
'cause,
better,
like, it's
actually.
going really fast.
I yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, man. It's yeah, Kevin is saying Forex is the worst. Um, Furry Marlin Furlan Mari is a pretty bad name. I'm not sure how they came up with that one, but
How much
the
are they paying the talking hands guy, by the way?
I don't know. In some of his podcast, like, YouTube episodes, he kinda pokes fun at that.
Yeah,
I've heard him, but so maybe they're not paying him at all. Maybe he genuinely really loves that watch.
he just featured them in another one not too long ago. Like
Really?
I don't
Oh,
get
man.
it.
Yeah. I
Yeah, Junkers. Kevin said Junkers. Do you really
Junkers,
want
yeah.
to name your? That's
Yeah.
quite a name.
Oh, man. My new brand name will be Jardenson and Bellari. That kinda has a ring to it. I mean, it wouldn't be awful. Prestige worldwide.
Yes.
Sanjay owns Grand Secret North America. Oh, Formex is a great wallpaper adhesive. There you go. See, that's a you glue is Formex glue. That sounds perfect, actually. It's a perfect name for glue. Um,
Does
let's
a watch
see.
brand name stop you or make you more interested in the brand? Vice versa? Does it like stop you? Would you ever buy a Formex?
Yes, I would.
I would too.
Um, yeah. So the brand does play a part. I do really enjoy the story that comes with a watch, so I'm a sucker for heritage, which is why stuff like we talked about this last week, called a brand, dubious brand. I don't know if you caught that, but it was the white bread brand or Blancpain.
Hmm.
What is up with that name? I mean, I don't understand white bread.
Yeah, sometimes you have
um,
to take into consideration what it means in other, in other languages too.
yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, it sounds good, Blancpain. It sounds really good.
white
Um,
bread.
white bread. Mont Blanc. That sounds good too. That's just White Mountain, I guess.
Hmm.
That sounds a bit better than bread. What's in bread? But yeah, I don't know where I was going with that. Well, so yeah, the brand doesn't really matter to me too much, but I do like a good story. I am instantly turned off if the story is fake.
Yeah,
Or yeah, or it's not the same. Like if they're touting that they've been ongoing for centuries, and that's not exactly correct, that kind of kills the brand for me too. So a la Blancpain. Um,
yeah. Shinola is another one. That the old saying, you don't know from Shinola.
yeah,
Obviously that's a not a great. I know it goes back. That name has other meaning, but that's what everyone's going to think of.
yeah. Peter C is mentioning Benris is actually a combination of Benjamin and Russell.
Hmm.
Okay, interesting. I did not know that. Um, Pierre, sorry, StreamYard jumped on me here, but Kevin S has Pierre Cardin. I don't even know how to pronounce that, but that's a French. I don't know if you're familiar with Pierre Cardin. Cardin.
Not really.
It's a French fashion company,
Okay.
like French clothing. I hope.
If
I'm
they don't make running clothes, I'm probably not familiar.
Yeah.
Just kidding, kind of.
Neff, mentioning Le Jeu Perret, that does sound amazing. Le Jeu
Yeah,
Perret sounds
that
really cool.
that's a good name.
Valjoux, I really like Valjoux.
Yep.
Um,
Anything
the
with the
the
OUX, really you
yeah,
can't go wrong.
yeah. The problem with Le Jeu Perret is actually a rebranded, company, right? Because
Yeah, remember Tim Masso did
Tim
that
Massa, yeah.
story about the
Yeah,
background of the making fake Rolexes and right in Switzerland there and stealing and
yeah. That's a great story.
yeah.
Yves Saint Laurent.
Very good.
Yeah. Brian Show Don't Tell says Monty Python Flying Circus has a sketch about Woody and tinny sounding words. Recommended. Okay.
Hmm.
Hmm. This really bugs me. Bulgari reminds me of old courthouse. Yeah. Like a Roman courthouse with the
Yeah.
V instead of the U. Yeah. That's not a good look. For me at least. Um,
I've never seen one of the watches. I don't know that I would buy one, but Brew, that's they're made on they're for timing espresso. It's kind of very appropriate for what the owner's into and um
yeah.
yeah, I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah. And obvious Nautilus knockoff, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Complete ripoff.
Yeah. Uh,
No question.
yeah. For those of you who don't know, that was actually a Kevin O'Leary thing. Uh, does not look like a Nautilus. Easy Clayton, Hermes, drug you take for herpes. Hermes, yeah.
Consult your doctor to see if Hermes is right for you.
Yeah, that does sound like a cream, a topical ointment.
Yeah. Uh,
Brian Show Don't Tell says I dislike the name Astor and Banks.
Me too.
Yeah, I can't quite click with that.
Again, it sounds like a make it like I don't know shoes or something, shoe
Yeah, it
company or
does sound like
something.
shoes. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like oh, I can't think of shoe brands now. I used to be really into leather shoes, but
Yeah, there's a few like and something shoe
yeah,
companies.
yeah,
I can't think of them either.
yeah. Citizen, a normal person's brand. We all see it around in normal places. Hmm. Uh, Patrick mentioning I generally prefer a brand with one word brand name. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. Um. Okay, so let's. I know I missed a bunch of the chat, guys. Bobby Legs, your last name is Mylong. No, no, it's not. But it literally, not literally, figuratively, it's a mile long. Apparently, Bruno saying Stella equals star. Hmm.
White bread.
Uh, that makes sense, right? There's that beer Stella Artois. Is it?
Hmm.
That makes sense. Zenith. See, I was never exposed to the Zenith TV brand, so Zenith was always really prestigious, like a prestigious sounding brand name for me. I don't know what you thought about that, Clayton.
They'd always remind me of the TVs.
Yeah,
And also, I don't know, there was an the Onion. They do like
yeah.
yeah, so they they made a story about a gaming Zenith is jumping in on the console wars, and it was like a Zenith gaming system,
Oh, really?
like with the old Zenith TV logo. It was yeah, hilarious. So that's actually what I always think of. I just that article for whatever we had a Zenith TV, and I just remember that like that logo and to see like the Zenith gaming console. It's not real, obviously, because it's in the Onion, but I don't know. That's what I
Yeah,
think of still.
yeah. I can totally see that. Like especially growing up, seeing Zenith every day
Yeah.
on your TV. Um, yeah, it kind of kills the brand, at least in the U.S. where that TV company was pretty popular. Neff saying Orient is a bad name. Mm, it's all right. It's not bad.
Never bothered me. I
Yeah.
know a lot of people hate their logo. I actually kind of like it. It does look like a cigarette
Okay.
brand logo, but I still don't mind it. But like,
It,
you either love it or hate it, I think.
yeah. Let me just pull up that. Uh, that logo here.
Does look like something you'd see on a. It almost looks like the Marlboro cigarette box or something.
Yeah. Sorry, bear with me here. StreamYard. Come on, come on. There we go. Okay, so Orient here. This kind of reminds me of my school's logo in Sri Lanka. Um,
Yeah, I don't hate it.
yeah, I like it. It 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 looks prestigious in a weird sort of way. With the jokes on the fact that it's not. Um, Trash can sounds a bit too much like trash can. Yeah. Kevin mentioning Junkers, Junkers there.
Yeah, it sounds much better when you say Yonkers, but
Joey saying my vote for best brand name is IWC. I don't know about that. I honestly I don't like that brand name. I don't like International Watch Company. That kind of that's like something that is not the International Watch Company. That's what they name themselves to sound really well established,
yeah,
right? It's like when everyone named their stuff the I, the simple I, like I wash or I
yeah.
clean, I perspire. um, it started to become really tacky, so much so that Apple doesn't use it anymore. So
Yeah,
um, yeah. All right. IWC in the old script. Oh, it was really nice when they had the whole thing written
was
out.
written
And
out. Yeah.
yeah, that was nice. I have to say. Phoebus is a bad. Their logo is worse. Yeah. Phoebus makes me think of Phoebe from Friends. Okay, so shall we?
Smelly cat, smelly cat. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh
Uh,
man, that was good. Shall we try to like pull ourselves back from the reality that we're in and
sure.
yeah, and try to figure out. Okay, well, what comes to mind when you see this really popular brand name, Rolex? Thoughts, Clayton?
Oh, it's so hard to. I mean,
Yeah,
even your grandmother who doesn't really know watches knows Rolex. So I think it's just like if I'm a layperson and it's like I don't know, synonymous with wealth. It's not obtainable for me as as someone who's just a working person. It's a luxury. It's wealth. It's prestige. It's something you get a gold one working for 25 years at the same company or something like that. That's what the first thing that comes to mind. If I'm putting myself back before I was into watches, that's what I always thought of. You get a gold one when you retire or something.
mm, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It really is hard to dissociate from
Yeah.
years of seeing this brand. Even as someone who wasn't into watches, you always knew this brand. But if I were to really try, um, I would think of a bed mattress. I don't know why, but I would think of mattresses, that come rolled up in a nice handy box. I don't know why. I just and there's a shipping company that's ripping off this brand name, and it's in our area. They go by Rolex.
Oh,
So I think
geez.
I've shown you guys pictures.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think you have actually.
It's
Didn't they
ROLL,
come
and
to
then it,
your job or something?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Pick up the mushrooms. uh, and you'd hear the guys chatting, right? Oh, Rolex is here to pick up the mushroom. I'm like, wait, what? If you're not paying attention and you're just typing away or doing something, and you hear that, you're yeah, not cool, guys. Okay.
I wonder if
Yeah.
Rolex, because there's like a whole thing if you can't like for trademark law and stuff like there's if you can't confuse the two, I think it's like fair use and it's okay. So I don't know that they would get in trouble, but I think other brands have had issues when if it can cause confusion in the marketplace.
Yeah. I mean,
I definitely cannot.
they're not, big companies, so I don't think
Yeah,
Rolex would ever go after them, but
it would cost more than they would ever get. Maybe
yeah,
they could send them a cease and desist.
yeah, and it would change instantly because
Yeah,
there's nothing holding them. But anyway,
yeah,
next brand, Audemars Piguet. Guys
yeah.
in the chat, let us know what you think of as well.
Just the
Uh,
AP logo would make me think of some like tacky clothing company. That's
yeah,
what I would think. Like, yeah, not like or gaudy like sunglasses with like gold on them or something. That's what I would think of.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I would gravitate towards that as well.
yeah,
Especially reminds me of Armani Exchange.
yeah, yep.
So yeah, if I didn't know and I were to dissociate myself from the watch world, that's what I would think of.
Me too,
Uh,
100%.
yeah. Let's go back on Rolex with the chat here. Uh, Ryan Show Don't Tell says Rolex reminds me of Rolly or Roland G. Murphy, RGM.
Yeah,
um, Chaz saying love him or hate him. Rolex is a great brand name. It is. It does roll off the tongue. Pardon the pun, but Mark says good tool watch for sure. Hey Bobby, good to see you. Invicta sounds like a mall brand cologne. They spray on you when you try to walk toward the Seiko character. Yeah.
Rolex is a brilliant, really is a brilliant brand name, and that's the story, right? He wanted to name Hans Wilsdorf wanted to name it something that you could pronounce in every language and had no meaning outside of um, just what what it is,
Yeah.
Rolex. Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Absolutely. It was a lightning in a bottle, I think Watchfinder
yep,
said.
yeah,
And he couldn't do it again with Chuda.
no,
Um, Rolex is a brilliant brand name, and the uses of oyster gets absurd, though. Yeah.
yeah.
Carl thinks of a cigar brand when you hear Rolex.
Hmm.
Cool. Yeah. Rolex, a person that gets rolled for their watch. Not sure what that means, but rolled,
I did
run
not
over.
think of their tool watches. I remember, like, as someone who did not know about watches, and you hear that name, it was always like, somebody's like rich uncle getting one from their company. That's what I always thought of. I don't know why.
Hmm.
Like a hairy arm and like a. I actually had like my dad's uncle who I think he had a Rolex, and I remember just like a hairy guy who wore like a gold chain. I guess
Right.
that's what like Uncle George. Yeah, that's what I don't know. It always reminded me of like he would be a total like gold Rolex guy. I guess that's you
Yeah.
get these like things sometimes they just stick with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to think back on Rolex before I knew what Rolex was. Um, I think I used to think of like a date chest as well.
Hmm.
The fluted bezel and a
Yep.
cyclops is what
Totally.
came to my mind.
Me too.
So yeah, not the
Yep.
sub.
No. Same.
Yeah. BJ thinks of cigarette papers when you think of Rolex. That makes sense
Yeah.
actually. Yeah. Get a gold one on a whim when you're in 30s.
Yeah.
Um, Kevin S says if Formex made Rolex quality watches, we would probably all love the name. I don't know. The thing is, I think with Formex you need time. I think they will probably catch on if they survive for like 30, 40 years. Um,
They're doing some
when
neat stuff.
yeah, yeah. When you have a brand name that doesn't quite sound great, I feel like with time, it just replaces stuff.
Yeah.
Like Patek Philippe, right? Doesn't sound great, not to me at least. But now that I've heard it every day for you know 4 or 5 years. It sounds good, sounds prestigious, sounds
Yeah.
like a great brand. But yeah, time will fix things. um,
One of my favorite names is Vacheron. I love that. I love that
yeah,
name. Yeah, to me that's like a I don't know, it's a very attractive name.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a fun name to say, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Vacheron Constantin.
Yeah.
It's like this new dinosaur my son found, and it's such a cool name. It makes me want to say it all the time. I just remember it. So it's the Scorpio Venator.
Wow, that is a cool name.
That's such a cool name. Oh man, why didn't they
That's your
name the
watch
T-Rex?
brand name. There you go.
Yeah, there you go. No. But they shouldn't name the T-Rex the Scorpio Venator. I'd be I'd be into dinosaurs if that were the case. Joey, no, moving on to AP. Joey says he hates the AP name and logo. Understandable.
Yeah.
Rob thinks of medicine when you see AP.
Hmm.
Yeah. Uh, John Smith, 25 years for me at one company this year. Don't think I'll get a Rolex, but I will put as snapshots around my desk to give. Yeah,
Hope that
yeah,
works out.
yeah. Um, Scott Charlie, I think Trojan should get into watches. That wouldn't end well. um, okay, skipping down a few
Have
of the
like a
list.
48 millimeter watch called the Magnum. I could see that happening.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Oh God.
Um, Scott Charlie saying Cartier is the best. Hmm. VC sounds like a Russian oligarch whose yacht was just impounded in Italy.
I used to not like the name Cartier until I owned one, and then
Yeah,
totally changed my perception of the brand and name. I just love their watches now.
yeah, yeah. Cartier is nice.
Yeah.
Um, it's almost a shame that they're almost as well known, for me at least, that they're almost as well known as Rolex. It always gives me pause when I consider buying a Cartier because I don't like the I don't like the knowledge, like the
Hmm.
fact that it's so well known. But that's just me. It's amazing watches. So,
Yeah.
um, okay, let's move on to uh, sorry. Um, sorry, just having a few technical issues here. Ah, okay, I got it. I got it. Okay, so Bulova, Bulova.
I love.
What do you think?
I actually really did like his video when he went to the Bulova Museum in New York City. Did you see that?
No, I haven't.
That was cool.
Yeah.
It was really neat actually. They have their museums on the in the Empire State Building, and he
Okay.
went there, and
Wow.
I think like one collector, like 90% of it is this guy's collection, I think. But I don't know, there's some really cool pieces. I really love the tuning fork. I have a Space View, and I think the tuning fork logo is one of the coolest.
Hmm.
I don't know what the tuning fork would throw me off. I wouldn't be if I knew nothing about watches and that they incorporated that into the Accutron. I'm not sure. Would it be like some sort of magnets? Is it a company that makes magnets? Maybe that's what I would probably think.
Okay. Yeah,
Yep.
I do really like the tuning fork logo as well.
Yeah.
I I mean, this would be interesting because we can follow up with Accutron. What you think of Accutron when you see because that's its own brand now, right?
Yeah.
As you just mentioned, um, but yeah, when I think of Bulova, I think perfume.
Hmm.
Is that I don't know why, but I think of perfume. It would look perfect on one of those rectangular boxes this
Yeah, it
big.
would.
Yeah,
Totally.
yeah.
That could be
Golden.
that logo could be easily perfume, or it could
Yeah.
be like an upside down. It almost looks like an upside down like a diamond ring.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Or the part that holds on to the diamond.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't know what you call that.
Yeah, what do you call it? The setting or the
Yeah,
whatever
there
it's
you go.
called. Yeah.
The claw.
Yeah, the claw. Yep. Totally.
Yeah. Um, American Pharaoh?
Uh,
Pharaoh?
oh,
Another great piece.
Pharaoh. It's a horse, the racehorse.
Okay. Hmm.
American Pharaoh. Yeah.
Is the is the horse Egyptian?
I don't think so.
Okay. Oh, Neff, that's a good one.
Yes, very good.
Uh, Steve mentioning the tuning fork is brilliant, denotes precision. Yeah, it does.
To me, Accutron sounds like some like giant calculator from the 70s. Like that was ultra cool when it came out, and now it's just, way outdated. But that's what reminds me of, some like
Yeah,
high-tech calculator from the 70s.
yeah, yeah.
Something
I
like
I
that.
think yeah. If I were to think of Accutron, guys, let us know what you think as well, because Accutron's a really weird one. Um, but if I were to think of Accutron, I'd think calculator as well right away.
Yeah.
Um, like a Casio Accutron. I mean, it's perfect.
Yeah.
Um, Steve's thing, American Pharaoh is a movie. Pharaoh, is it? Are you guys pulling my leg?
It's a
uh,
sequel to Appalachian Trail.
yeah,
That's what they called the guy who conquered it at the end of the movie.
right. All hail the Pharaoh, the American Pharaoh. This is a good one actually. Krator. What do you think
Mm.
when you think of Krator?
Um, I don't know. I don't think it's positive though. Like
No.
I don't like a crater.
Okay. Yeah.
I think I just take it literally, kind of what it sounds like.
Yeah. See,
It doesn't sound good.
I would think of a watch brand, but like a one of those Chinese
Yeah,
AliExpress brands,
it doesn't
like
scream like high-end watch to me.
yeah. I mean, but at the same time, like time has changed that for me as well. So now if I were to look at Krator, I think, I'd be awestruck. But yeah, Krator sounds like Seastern or
Yeah, it does totally.
yeah, something that was just pulled out, words stuck together, and
Yeah.
I know it's got like a French meaning to it, like Credor. I'm not quite sure what it means. Maybe royalty or something like that. But doesn't it's not permeating enough of a French word to
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't really care for it, but their watches are wild and really cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh, Fugaku is the coolest.
What's the the like Citizen, I can't think of it right now. They're like their version of Crador. Starts with a C.
Um, Casablanca or something, right?
Oh, Campanella,
Oh,
something
yes,
like that is
Campagnola.
yeah, yes, yes.
Uh,
That reminds me of, yeah, I guess, I don't know, I'm taking literal, but like some kind of soup or something.
Campanola,
It,
Campanola.
yeah. Or like wasn't there a baseball player or something with that last name? Yeah. But those watches, there's some really cool Campanolas too.
Yeah. Okay, so I this is actually a really new brand to me. I only learned about it recently, but I think of mushrooms.
Mm.
What? Because
Is there a
uh, well, in French, mushroom is champignon.
mm.
So when I see Campanola, I think of mushrooms. And I see this word every day, so
Yeah.
yeah, Campanola mushrooms. No good. um, let's see
They're pretty
here.
cool looking.
Yeah, it's just mushroom in
Look like
French.
Super
So
Mario.
yeah. Let's see. Neff actually loves the name Krator.
Mm.
Kratos sounds like a cigar format to me. The Churchill, the Krator. Hmm,
Hmm.
it's interesting. This is the cool thing because our perception is formed by like all our ears on this
Yeah.
planet, right? Like what we saw as a kids, or what we grown up with, or what we see every day to day life. That's going to form our first impression of a brand, which is why it's really hard to have a universally appealing brand name,
Hmm.
like Rolex, let's say. Uh, Seiko, I don't know. What would you think of Seiko?
Um, I don't know. I don't know what I would think of. Maybe like Japanese clothing.
Yeah,
Maybe yeah, maybe I don't know, like a gi or something.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm. This one is the Rolex. Like for you, Seiko is like the Rolex for me because my parents had Seikos when I was growing up. I saw Seikos. I played with a Seiko World Timer,
Mm,
digital watch when I was a kid. Like my mom didn't wear it anymore, and I just mess around with it. Um, so I knew Seiko since I was like 4 or 5.
okay.
Um, but if I were to try and pull myself out, I would probably think of um, furniture or like
Mm,
a very, I don't know. Let's see, that doesn't work too because my subconscious is working there. Because Seikosha is house of fine workmanship,
mm,
right? The translation.
mhm.
And when I think furniture, that's like impacted by my subconscious because house of fine, house and furniture. Uh,
It's so hard to
it's yeah,
take
it's
ourselves
impossible.
out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But probably a good place to stop the game.
Trying to think if there's any other, yeah, because naming it, like going back to where we started, like naming your company is it's so hard because like for no rational reason, your name is probably going to turn someone off. Like whatever you
Mhm.
pick for, they're not even going to give you a chance
Yeah,
because they
yeah,
don't like your name or they don't like your logo. Logo's another thing, and we've talked about it
yeah,
a little bit. It's like whatever industry you're in,
yeah,
if you're turned off by the logo, yeah, that's it.
yeah.
So I redesigned my logo and we went for like since I'm outdoors and do that sort of thing with dogs, I didn't want to be like too cutesy with because a lot of like dog walking companies have, like cartoony cutesy logos. So I went with more like a rugged, like kind of going at what LL Bean does a little bit, like going for
Okay.
that vibe a little more, which I kind of liked.
Yeah.
Um, so
Hmm.
that's what I went with. But it's
LL
tough.
Bean. See, I hadn't heard of LL Bean until very recently.
Mm.
Probably the Time Teller was the first time I've heard of
Oh,
LL Bean
wow.
because he had an LL Bean Hamilton.
Yeah,
Um,
yep.
and I was thinking, this looks awful. Why would you want like a coffee brand on your cool Hamilton website? So I was thinking coffee, LL Bean coffee. But apparently it's a prestigious leather goods, right? LL
Well,
Bean.
no, it's like an outdoor
Oh,
kind
okay.
of like an REI or what I don't know, like Gander Mountain. Do you have Gander Mountain in Canada?
Well, I
It
mean, we might. I don't know if it though.
they had one in Michigan. I don't even know if they're around anymore. But yeah, but they do sell like the
Okay.
clothing and yeah. But yeah, they
Okay, there you go.
co-branded with. I had a friend who had one of those LL Bean Hamiltons. Pretty cool.
Yeah. Hmm. Steve mentioned that he feels bad for kidding me. Don't feel bad. You can mess around with me anytime. I enjoy it. So
I was trying really hard to think of tree puns today, but I decided not to. Give you a break. It's a rough weekend for you.
yeah. Well, it's okay. Didn't break through. So
Uh,
uh,
I'll stick to watches.
yeah, that's a
I'll
good one.
leave you alone.
Yeah.
Okay. All
Yeah. Don't get all sawed off or
right. Yeah. Uh, God.
um would love to tackle Oris, Mito, and Rado. I could do this quickly, like a quick fire round. Clayton, Oris, Mito, and Rado.
Oh gosh. Mito is a weird one. I'm not quite drawn to the name. It's so hard. Like, what would I
Yeah.
think of? I think of like I don't know. I don't know. I think of pirates, and I have no
Okay.
idea why. And it's
Huh.
funny that Rado is like the Captain Cook. I don't think of pirates.
Yeah.
I think of
That's
pirates.
interesting.
That's the first thing that comes to my mind. I have no idea why.
Yeah. Hmm. With Oris, I would think of Osiris, which is that Egyptian uh mystical god thing. I can't remember what that was, but Horus and Osiris.
Hmm.
That's kind of what I'm thinking of. So I don't know what product I would relate that to, but I would think of Egyptian mythology if I was thinking Horus. Mito, I would think of Milo. Um, I don't know if you guys have Milo here, but Milo is the most delicious chocolate drink from my
Hmm.
childhood. It's probably not very good here, but have you seen this before?
I don't think so.
Oh man, this is such good stuff.
Does it taste like a Yoo-hoo or something?
It's I don't know what Yoo-hoo is, but
It's like a chocolate drink.
yeah. So the closest thing I can think of, no, I can't. It's unique. I think it has malt in it. Oh yeah, chocolate malt drink.
Oh, okay.
So it's not just chocolate. It's like a malty flavor. Um, yeah. So Mito, I think of Milo. Rado, I've seen Rado since I was a child again. So
Yeah, those
Rado.
are all brands I never heard of until I got into watches.
Yeah.
Mito, Oris, and Rado. Yeah, never. I'm trying to think of what like the knowledge of watches was before getting into them, and it was like that perception of Rolex. It was Casio, Timex. I don't even know how familiar I was with Seiko. I think that
Hmm.
was really probably about it. I got more into like like the fat or like Garmin's and all we've talked about before, like all the early incarnations of smartwatches and stuff. So,
Yeah.
and then being from Michigan, and Shinola, because my cousin and his wife had a bunch, and that was sort of my reintroduction to watches, like them just showing me their Shinolas, and it's yeah, the people are very proud of them and own a bunch in Michigan.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah. The Detroit story.
yeah, which is also not super. But I mean, people, they provide jobs and to
Yeah.
a certain extent. So I think maybe they probably did take advantage of that Detroit's hardships a little bit to tell their story. They leaned
Yeah.
on that when fairly or unfairly, but
Yeah. I mean, everyone has to have a bit of a sob story, right? It's,
yeah.
if America's Got Talent's taught you anything, it's gotta have, gotta have a story.
But my
I know.
cousin and his wife are, yeah, and I have one, and I think it's a great watch. So,
Yeah. That's I feel bad for saying that with America's Got Talent thing because I was thinking about this. This is not really related to watches, but everyone has like a story in a sense of. I've been kind of thinking about this that everyone's life is just like no one escapes suffering, and it's
hmm
such a surreal thing to think about, right? Like you've either been to a ton of suffering, you're either going through a ton of suffering, or you're about to go through a ton of suffering, and it's yeah, it's just heartbreaking
and there's
to think
different
about.
degrees, but what you might think is, easier considering what you've been through is really hard for someone else because we all
Yeah.
have different mindsets and we all react differently. Like, um, some people's like response to stress is shutting down, some people's is taking action, and so we all respond to things. And what might really stress you out or upset you might not me, and vice versa, right? We're
Mhm.
gonna get upset about different things. So
Yeah. Ah. Anyway, let's move on from a
I don't know
downer
what
of a
happened
topic.
there. uh,
Yeah, Sanjay's going dark on us.
yeah.
Sorry about that, guys. It's just something I've been kind of thinking about a lot, so it just kind of came out. How did the how did the treasure of your heart, the mouth speaks? you know, uh, um, think of suffering if you're on a wait list. That's yeah. Way to lighten the mood, Bruno. All right, guys. Well, it's probably a good time to call it a night. Hope you all have a wonderful week ahead. You guys are all infinitely valuable. Clayton, do you have anything coming up?
No. I'm hoping to. I have these like podcast ideas. Just man, I'm just trying to stay afloat with all the running and trying to just keep things going. And
Yeah.
yeah, Memorial Day weekend here in the States next weekend, so 3-day weekend. Actually going to the third day of the Boston Calling Music Festival a week from today. Metallica, Weezer, a few other bands. So my neighbor and I are just gonna spend the day in Boston. We're actually gonna stay over. So just a nice we haven't been doing that kind of stuff in over 2 years now, really. So it's all
Yeah.
all outside. We feel pretty good about pretty safe and good about doing it. So
Yeah,
excited for that.
that sounds great. Are you keeping notes, like, of all your ideas? Cause
Sort of. Yeah,
yeah,
sort of. Yeah, they well they come and go, and hopefully they
yeah.
come back. Sometimes they do.
You should use that, TWSBI that you got to
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Well, a lot of times they happen when because I'm not with people all day. I'm with dogs, so a lot of times that's you have no time to that, and that's a blessing and a curse. Your mind just you think too much sometimes, and you. I tend to get stressed out about things that haven't even happened yet, like scenarios. Yeah, I invent things and then get stressed out about them,
Mm.
and they most of the time don't even end up happening. But that's where I'm crazy that way, I guess. I have all day
Yeah,
to just think and be by myself. Sometimes, like when you're not distracted with other people, and your mind can play some tricks on you. So I'm
yeah,
by myself literally all day. So
yeah. I hear you. I understand. But yeah,
how about
guys,
you?
anything coming up? Mm, I do have that review coming up for the SLA 055. It's just got to get recorded. I have all my notes ready and most of my B-roll, which is, you know, high praise to call it B-roll, but my secondary shots, they're all good to go. So I just had to, record it, which shouldn't take too long. But we'll do this week, I hope. Other than
Awesome.
that, no, nothing else really.
Thanks for the
I got
kind words, guys. It's really good to be back. Too glad
Yeah.
to hang catch up with you again. Yeah, it's been way too long.
Oh, man. It's
Yeah.
such a breath of fresh air to chat with you again.
Yeah.
Not no offense to anyone else who comes on the stream, like, it's just 'cause I miss Clayton and,
Yeah.
um, 'cause we were, like, chatting every other day.
Yeah, yeah, you
We
were
were
on every
doing
podcast and yeah. Yeah, so yeah,
It
we
feels
it's been a while since once a Discord here and there or just private message, "Hey, how you doing?" But not
Yeah,
even that in a while. So, yeah,
yeah,
good to be good to be back with you.
yeah. I mean, it's hard to contain it within the hour.
Yeah.
I feel like we could just keep going, but,
I know.
yeah.
We'll talk
Alright, guys,
more
I hope
about more suffering and despair.
Yeah. Yeah, moving on to the next topic. But, guys, have a great week ahead. We'll see you, next Saturday. So, take care and stay safe out there.
Good to see you guys. Good night.
Night, everyone.